whole session. Last session, you departed the Fawnkeeper's Circle in Neelam's Grove and decided to head back to Pear Trees, in particular with the intent of meeting up with Ilara at her family's farm, where she had told you she would help you while her parents were away at a council meeting in town to look through Thomas's belongings and any notes or anything he may have left behind. Upon arriving back, you made your way over to the Thornbrook farm, and Ilara led you into Thomas's bedroom, where you discovered a number of things. There was a hidden wooden box beneath a loose floorboard, inside of which there was a number of hand-carved tokens. Some of them were stained with some kind of like purple dye. All of these tokens had names of people in the town, a number of them stained purple and marked with dates, which you deduced to be the purple stained ones were members of the town who appeared to have been changed or manipulated in whatever was going on in the town currently. You also found a note from Thomas which revealed that there was a kind of essentially like a pattern of replacement going on in town, beginning with leadership, then some of the sort of maybe the business owners around town, and sort of speculating about the order that people were being taken in and how that was happening. You then decided to split up to make the most of your time searching for sort of clues and information before Ilara and Thomas's parents returned. Who was it? Phelan and Darius remained back inside the bedroom still. You carried on looking around, and you managed to find a few more sort of bits and pieces, nothing majorly exciting. The rest of the party went with Ilara down to what used to be the old treehouse of Thomas and Ilara when they were children, a tree sort of down in the orchard of their farm. When you were down there, Kasha communicated with the tree using her ability to speak with plants, and was able to. She was essentially guided around to a particular one of the old ladder rungs that was still sort of nailed into the tree. Had a carving of a fox on it, which reminded Ilara had told you about a game Thomas and Ilara played as children, where they would essentially hide things and leave carvings or drawings of animals that kind of hinted. She told you that birds meant to look above wherever the mark was, rabbits were to dig down, and that foxes were hidden behind something. At which point, Kasha pulled at this rung of the ladder and was able to pull it open, which was where we left things. So yeah, as Kasha pulls the rung out, she's able to sort of pull it away from the tree itself and from the bark, and there is a hole in the tree. Looks like a sort of natural hole inside. You can see inside of it there is a package, sort of wrapped in what looks to be like oilcloth, like waterproof cloth, and it's sort of tied with a piece of twine. The package may be in sort of length and width, maybe the size of like a large book, and a little bit of depth to it. As Kasha pulls it out, there's like some handwriting you can see on the wrapping, like on the cloth itself, which says, "For Ilara, if I don't come back." As Kasha pulls this out, Ilara sees the note, and she immediately sort of reacts and says, "Thomas must have left this here," and she sort of grabs it from Kasha's hands and pulls at the twine, the sort of the sort of ribbon tied up, so it opens up. And as she sort of kneels down to the ground, places it down, opens up the package, you can see there are a number of items inside this sort of parcel. There's you can see immediately there are like several pages of like notes and some sketches. There are also a few items as well mixed in with it. Immediately, Ilara sort of she immediately picks up one of the top piece of paper from the sort of pile of papers, and she sort of holds it up and shows the party. You can recognise quite quickly it's a hand drawn map, and you can see from the sort of layout and a few of the markings it is a map of the town of Pear Trees. There's a lot of the buildings seem to be marked with symbols, some of them, and there's also a number of there's 3 different coloured of like routes, like dotted routes going around the town in 3 different colours. There is a route in sort of red. There's a route in blue and a route in black. And along the routes there are what look to be times. So you see there are notes. One says 2:15, one 3:30, and one 4 a.m. Notably, there are 3 buildings which are circled in red and have a name written alongside the circles. There is a circle around the town hall. There is a circle around what is you don't recognise the building immediately, but you've not visited it. But you see it is listed as grain storage. And then there's also a red circle around the old temple where Matthias's previous lodgings you had been previously. Just underneath that part for the old temple, it's also been written the word supplies. There's also a couple of notes in the margins. I will put these into the chat for you quickly. So there's a few notes, and mostly sort of scribbled, but the most notable of which says 3 distinct knock pattern, couldn't get close enough to hear clearly. And as she sort of looks at the map, there is a note sort of folded inside of the map itself, and it reads the following. In fact, I should be able to make this available to you, I think. Yeah, so there's this note inside that as she opens up you can see it says, Ilara, if you're reading this, I'm either gone or changed. Don't trust anyone who speaks of the blessed harvest. Mayor Fastfoot is one of them. Matthias was right about everything. They're taking people somewhere beneath the grain storage. I'm going to find proof. If I fail, find help. Real help from outside of Pear Trees. Don't trust the changed ones. I love you. Stay safe. Thomas.
Interesting. I mean, it sounds like we have a rough suggestion of somewhere we should go look. He says they're taking them to this grain storage.
Ilara says to you, she says, the grain storage is on the eastern side of the town. It's where the communal storage. A lot of the farms have their own storage, but we have this community storage where everyone can put surplus, or essentially the various farmers and families around town, they donate for the town itself, for those in need, for any farms that have a bad crop, and yeah, it's communal storage, but it doesn't really see all that much use.
Interesting. Something tells me it's seeing a bit more use now.
It's been maintained recently, and there's been some work done on sort of doing it up recently. The mayor has had the drow helping to improve it and to repair it for the best part of 2 or 3 months now. But I don't think it's actually being used for any storage. It's if anything, I think they'd emptied it out whilst they were doing repairs.
Sounds to me like there's something going on there that's no good that we might need to have a little look at.
And
We
Alara,
need to be careful because isn't that where people have gone now? So they went somewhere, right? Where everyone was going somewhere. That's why we met Alara at this point.
no, they have actually all gone. Her parents and the town council have gone for a meeting at the council building.
At the council building, okay, fine,
the town hall, which is one
Cool.
is one of the circled buildings on here. Yeah.
Cool.
And Ilara, she sort of turns to you as you're speaking, Adslor, and she says, if he knew they were coming for him and he was still trying to find proof, and he says to get help, does that mean? Do you think they've done something to him? Maybe has he not really gone to Griffin still?
He might have got out. That's the thing. He might have had the opportunity there, I guess, to get himself out of town to do some investigating, but we have to potentially go check this place in case he's not, right? He might be there, he might need our help.
And
We can go look for him.
she kneels down. She sort of looks through some of the other things inside of this package. As I say, there's sort of a few other sort of pieces of paper and notes. None of them seem much important. But there are a few items in there as well. The first thing you notice, there is oh man, where do I put this? Too many tabs open as always. There we go. Yeah, there are two. The first thing you notice, there are two stones. Sort of, they are the sort of like the size of a large pebble. Sort of fit inside your fist, but fill it comfortably if you sort of closed your fist up. They have a slight amber sort of look to them. And Lara actually notices those immediately. And she says to you, these are the Farlight stones our parents gave us when we were young. She tells you they are linked. There were two stones. We used to play with them and use them as games or to communicate with one another. They're linked, and you can essentially make one light up, and you can almost send messages to the other to match and to notify and to link them to message one another. For reference, I've added those to your party stash if you want to see any full details on them. There is also there is a ring, and on the ring there is a small piece of string around it with a sort of a note attached to it, and it says, "Ilara, I've been using this. It's useful for throwing my voice and making the drow investigate in wrong areas when they've been on to me." I've also added that to your party stash. And the last item, looks to be a pretty relatively basic silver bracelet. And again, that also has a note on it. And this one says, I found this in the grove one day near an Ngobu den. It helped me escape the drow twice. Use it if you need it. And I've also added a bracelet of dashing to your party stash.
That's cool.
Yeah, Ilara sort of she sort of reads the notes, and she looks to your party and she says, Thomas wanted these to be used to help, but I'm not sure how much help I can be directly. If you can make use of these items anyway, then please, as long as they can be returned to Thomas when he comes home.
That seems reasonable. Seems like a very fair thing to do.
Sorry, I'm gonna be really stupid. Remind me how to get the party stash again.
If you press P and it will open the party sheet, and then there's a stash on there.
Cool, thanks.
So yeah, you have a ventriloquist's ring, a bracelet of dashing, and 2 firelight stones. I'll put them in the stash for now. You can decide amongst yourselves how you want to distribute those.
I have to say, I wouldn't say no to the bracelet of dashing.
I don't want it personally, so.
I'm already quite good at acrobatics, and I wouldn't say no to making it better.
I will make no claim on that. You, whoever else wants it, yeah, you or somebody else, but not me.
The ventriloquist's ring is, I think, probably a bit useless for me. I have a +0 to deception checks. Making it +1 is probably not really having an impact.
Yeah, I'm not great at deception either. So, is anyone a good deceiver?
Darius is a +6, but obviously Darius and Phelan aren't there currently unless we turned up while I was.
Oh yes, sorry.
away.
Yeah, I did. Sorry, that was my fault. At the end of last session, I did say we would use the time that Cash spent
They're all here,
talking to the
brother.
tree to have everyone catch up, and I think I forgot to reiterate that. So yes, everyone is sort of back together at this point. Yeah.
Cool. I've got a +6 on deception, but I don't know if I'd use it very often. I do think it'd be amazing throwing my voice in random places to you guys when you're not near me, so I can talk to you.
Have it.
I was to say either you or Phelan make a claim on it, and it doesn't matter who. But
I feel like I'll just use it to annoy people as well.
Cash is not here to defend themselves, so they can't have it.
I'm going to take it to annoy people and just talk to you when you walk away from me.
Lovely.
Phelan, do you want to make a claim on this bracelet of dashing before I take it?
Nah, it's alright. You can have it.
You sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
I might be tempted to ask for a Firelight Stone, partly because I don't think I've got dark vision of any sort.
Yeah, take off.
And also, I want something.
Should we, Phelan, do you want to take the other Firelight Stone?
Yeah, I can do.
If you can activate it to make it into a light, activate it to change the colour,
Oh, I could put
or activate it to like communicate with the other one a little bit, so you can send send pulses to the other one of a rate and colour.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
how do I open the...
Just drag it
Which
onto your
means that we can essentially, Phelan, you and I can come up with many codes where we can say this color and this speed means, red means danger, and the faster it blinks, the more bigger it is.
So
And
red means bad, right?
Yeah, red means bad. Yeah, and then the faster is like the more better, and then like green means good, and then like the very very good or is very very fast, etc. 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 And we can communicate a little bit without saying anything.
How do
But
I
also,
open the menu
it's got
again?
light.
Sorry.
P.
P, okay.
I felt like quite a good drop of magical items.
Yeah, it's because of the TBK incoming.
Shut up. Shut up. So of those items, just note, rules, reminder, etc. The ring and the bracelet are both invested items.
Yeah.
You can have 10 invested items or invested magical items at any time. Investing is just done when you put the item on, essentially.
So there's no timer or anything.
No, it basically, to invest an item takes the amount of time it takes to don the item. So yeah, if it's a ring, you put it on, and then you can choose if you are invested or not. When you have a magical item or anything like that, there's like I think it's a diamond. It shows up in where you can choose the things you do and do not have invested. If you have a magical item that gives you some kind of stat bonus, like those two, for instance, if you wear it but you don't have it invested, the bonus will not apply. And if you do have it invested, it will apply. Happy days. Cool. Yeah. So you have this sort of these notes, the map, and then these items which Elara has told the party they can borrow on the proviso that they are returned to Thomas when he comes back to town. Should he come back to town, I suppose. And as you're sort of looking over the items and sort of passing them around the group and working out sort of how you can best make use of them, Elara sort of looks to you and she says, "So the grain storage, if they're taking people there, then we have to find out what they've done to them and what they've done to Thomas especially." And as she mentions it, you can suddenly hear a some sort of noise in the distance, and you can see a little bit of torchlight, and you can see up at the sort of back through the orchard, up by the farmhouse, by the family, by the sort of main family home. There's a little bit of noise, and you can see there is some movement of light. In Elara, she sort of momentarily panics a little bit. She says, "Take the map and the notes. Keep them hidden. My parents, they must be back. I should return and I'll tell them I've been out. But when you've decided what you want to do, or if I can be of any help, come find me, and please, if you find Thomas, bring him back safely." She quite quickly begins making her way back towards the house. And yeah, you are left alone at the bottom of the orchard on the farm. What would you folk like to do? So it is just nearing 9 p.m. So just slightly short of 9 p.m.
What time was the meeting supposed to finish? Do we know?
So she told you initially that her parents were going to be gone from 7 and that they would be gone for around 2 hours.
Okay, so we'd expect that potentially that could be wrapping up very shortly.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if that is her parents back as she suspected, then yes, it seems that is probably finished.
So our chances of getting to the grain store without anyone there are slim, I guess, at this point. But my head is going, we just head to the grain store and try and wreck it a little bit and see what's going on. Please disagree if you think otherwise, guys.
That's about right, to be fair.
Yeah? Cool. Okie dokie. So you guys want to head over to that way now, yeah? To that sort of eastern side of town, but that is.
Yeah, kind of try and keep a low profile, I think, as we head that way.
Yeah.
Try not to catch anyone's attention, but just wander that way, see if anything's there.
That can be done. Cool. Yeah, you sort of make your way off the farm and back into the town itself, taking care to sort of steer clear of some of the more some of the sort of busier areas of town, hoping to sort of stay somewhat unseen, as you said. Yeah, you make your way sort of away from the forest itself, and there is the old grain store is just down sort of, like I say, it's on the eastern edge of town, a little bit outside of the town itself, in one of the meadows. As you sort of make your way through town, it's a little bit quiet, and you sort of, as you start heading over towards it, you can see that, so there is there's a sort of quite sort of flat open meadow and it has just a simple path leading down to the grain store. The grain store itself, you can sort of see from a bit of a distance to start to get a bit of a feel for it. It is... oh, you absolute idiot. I've not added that. One sec. Where did I have that image? There. Create new scene. Mate, this is what happens when you have 2 months off. I'm not prepared properly. Grain store. Upload this. No vision. Yes. I think this should work. Cool. I've just put this scene together in a rush, but I think you should have vision. Lovely. Yeah. So there is a. You come across it. You sort of find this what is called the grain store. It's a sort of two story with a sort of vaulted roof, sort of wooden structure. It looks like it has stood here for some time. It's quite weathered. There's a lot of sort of growth of sort of vines and moss on sort of the roof and some of the walls. One of the things that sort of jumps out, even in the dark, it's hard to say from a bit of a distance in the dark, but that Ilara had mentioned that the drows had been helping the townsfolk to renovate the building for around 2 to 3 months. And if you were from a slight distance in the dark, if you were to make an initial judgment, it looks like they are working at a rather slow pace. This certainly doesn't look like a building that's seen recent sort of renovation or a lot of work on its upkeep. There's a few things you sort of note as you begin to sort of get a bit closer. You said you wanted to sort of go over somewhat subtly, right? I think was your intention.
Yeah, just have a little bit of a recce. See if we can see who tends to be, if there's anyone that tends to be moving around near it, if there's anyone going in and out at all, any weird sounds coming from it, anything like that.
Cool. So yeah, as you sort of you like I say, it's quite an open meadow. So you sort of head over, sort of looking at it cautiously. You don't really see any signs of activity or anything particularly, and you sort of carry on approaching. Probably get to around about sort of 150 feet or so. And it's at that point that you see movement for the first time. You can spot on the sort of far side of the grain store itself. There's some movement. A humanoid sort of walks out from behind. and you can see they sort of they walk over out from behind the grain store, stop for a moment, and then you see them begin their sort of head begin moving as they're sort of looking around. Do you guys want to do anything to dart out of the way? Are you quite happy to be spotted?
I feel like we didn't want to be seen, but I also feel like it's going to be really obvious if we all try and hide. So,
Especially given I'm clanking around armor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's okay.
you're under cover of
I can-
darkness, and you've got, like I say, about 200 feet on the from it currently. So if you want to make an attempt to hide away, you certainly can.
I think we should duck out of the way. I don't think we want to be seen poking around there.
Okay.
Okay, I will try.
That's cool. If everyone can make for me then a secret stealth check.
God, it's been so long. Remind me, secret is
Control.
control.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Cormac.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
Control.
Control. I'm blind. Hold on. Control. There we go.
Lovely.
I was trying to make an initiative.
Oh, I see. That's cool. No, you've just made a perception check, not a stealth check.
I'm so dumb. I'm sorry.
I know.
Hold on. There we go. That's the one.
Perfect. That's better. But that one's not secret, and I did say in the table rules to start a
Oh
campaign.
my
If you roll
God.
something not secret, I will make you roll it again. So third
Yeah,
time's the
that's
charm.
fine. Right. No, I'm pressing. Oh, hold on. Sorry.
You got this. Come on. I believe in you.
Yes.
There we go. Finally. I'm so sorry.
Nice.
Oh, you might want to re-roll that. I roll that was a 1.
Well, which it was also a reminder to me to actually reset everyone's hero points. Not that I'd forgotten in any way, Shane, but thank you. Obviously, yes, as we did work out in the last session, you can always use a hero point on a secret roll if you ever want to. People did last time. Yeah, so you, like I say, you see this humanoid sort of walk out from behind. You see them then stop and sort of start beginning moving their head round, and you all sort of duck down a little. Phelan drops immediately, quickly and stealthily, and you all see as Phelan drops almost silently, sort of almost makes no noise as they sort of hit the ground. Absalom sort of darts down very quickly. Even Darius at their age sort of just about creaks down and gets down. Halloran, unfortunately, did roll a nat 1. And yeah, as Halloran predicted, I suppose, with the armour, Halloran just sort of follows the sort of lead of everyone else as they sort of duck down. But immediately, the sort of heavy armour and the plate sort of, there's like a sort of clinking and clunking as you sort of go down. And you see immediately this humanoid that was sort of moving its head around, then darts its head over in your direction. And you see, looks over, and begins walking over in your direction. What would you guys like to do?
I noticed that he's noticed me, right?
You can all see that this humanoid is now headed over in your direction, yeah.
But I don't recognize them, or do I can't tell where they are?
From this distance in the darkness, you guys can't get a good look. You can just see it as a humanoid of some type, yeah.
Cool. I will call out, "Well met," and wave, and clank over to them, towards them.
And you can see as you call they sort of stop for a moment, and then they carry on walking in your direction. And as they sort of come closer, you can see there is a drow stands over you, Halloran, quite tall over you. Probably stands at about 6'1", relatively muscular. and sort of approaches up to you, and then as they sort of reach about sort of maybe 10 feet from you, comes to a stop and just stares at you.
Remind me, have we met in the jail yet?
You encountered some at the train station when you first arrived in town, but I don't think you've encountered it directly. I know you've certainly seen some working in some of the fields as well, but I don't think you guys have encountered it. I know. Again, just obviously, especially with the benefit of multiple weeks of no sessions, etc. One of the things you had been told by some of the townsfolk you spoke to is that the drow are they seem to be entirely silent. They don't seem to talk or sort of verbally communicate with the townsfolk.
Yeah, I remember that. Actually, now you say it. Cool. I will shout out, greetings, friend.
And you can see this drow sort of looks you up and down quickly, and then just raises a hand and points back to town.
Yes, we've just come from town. We're guests of Mayor Eddie Fastfoot. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to farming. Come from a long line of farmers. My dad was a farmer. My mum's a farmer. My brother's a farmer. My sister's not a farmer, but she's involved in farming. My other brother's a farmer. Anyway, I thought I'd just pop over and, I'm just wandering about with my traveling companions here, and I'll point out the rest of the people in the party who I'm assuming are sort of like half hiding, half given up hiding at this point.
Darius is fully hiding.
Oh, Darius is, I gesture broadly rather than particularly, so I wouldn't give away Darius's position in that case. But anybody who is and if everyone's still hiding, then I will not do that. But anyway, yeah, and I thought I heard as a grain siler, I would like to make sure everything's in order, and if I can help out with any bits and pieces, that I'm quite good, and I'll wave my, not aggressively, my scythe and be like, I'm quite handy at the grain harvest.
And through this,
my parents are grain farmers, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. Through this conversation, as you sort of explain your reason for being there, give a brief rundown of the occupation of various members of your family, etc. The drow obviously was pointing towards town and doesn't register your conversation in any real sort of way. Continues just pointing straight at the town and just meets your eye throughout this whole sort of conversation and sort of monologue as you're listing all that. Meets you eye to eye and just seems unmoved in any way.
Something's not right.
Yeah. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry, I need to go put something in the oven.
Oh, good. The rest of you all staying still hiding at the moment.
I feel like I'm just gonna have been crouched over, and I'm not gonna be hiding. I feel like we've been pointed at, and that's fine, and I'm okay with having been pointed out as a compatriot. Can I just give this guy a once over and kind of sense motive, see if there's any kind of anything going on at all? Just look at eye movement, see if there looks to be any thought going on at all.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If I can find the button to sense motive. Aha.
Nice. Yeah, so you Yeah, you sort of. Do you say you're remaining hidden still currently? You were
No,
staying.
I'm
you-
gonna not be hidden.
Yeah, cool. So you've sort of got up, made yourself known, but you are just sort of taking a read on this situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so you sort of watch as it sort of as the drown sort of points back to town, and you sort of as Halloran is listing off all this information and the reason for being there and his family's sort of history with farming and agriculture, and you look for any kind of sort of response, sort of in the eyes, in the face, in anywhere really. You you can actually spot Halloran as they're sort of speaking and listening off. Maybe doesn't sort of pick up on the finer details, whereas you're a bit more sort of focused in and sort of paying attention there. There actually does seem to be quite a although the drow doesn't respond verbally in any way, you can see a sort of quite a heavy flicker of interest and investment actually as Halloran is listing these things, especially as Halloran begins talking about this sort of the agricultural experience and background of their family. And you can, although to someone just in general conversation, it looks like no reaction. There's actually quite a heavy show of interest. You can see there is clearly the eyes sort of dart down a little from where they were previously looking at the town where they were pointing. They actually sort of look down at Halloran as he's talking. They sort of look over some of the symbology of Shanti on his armor as well.
Interesting.
In terms of, I guess the other important part of sense motive as well is any kind of mental magic as well is something you get some information on. There's nothing in terms of magic that you pick up on in any way. Nothing. The creature is obviously it's a little bit awkward. It's a dark situation. It sort of approached you in silence and sort of hasn't communed, but there is no sense of it being under any control, of it being under any kind of magic or influence at all like that. It like I say, if anything, it actually does seem, although it can't verbally communicate for itself or doesn't seem to want to or able to, is at least interested in the conversation.
Okay. If we just kind of awkwardly stand there as if the conversation is done, what does he do?
So, as long as you are stood here still, he just carries on, his eyes meeting Halloran's and just pointing back towards the town.
Are you going to town?
Just shakes the head twice back and forth.
Well, we're gonna get going then. We're gonna have a look at the grain storage.
And as you say that, he sort of not overly sort of powerfully, but sort of repeats the point, gestures his point to the town, sort of pokes at the air a little bit back in that direction.
Yep, if you want to go to town, that's absolutely fine. We're going over here.
And he points one more time back at town, sort of gestures and points, not frantically, but sort of begins sort of gestures a little bit strongly, sort of just starts repeatedly sort of pointing towards the town.
Oh, I think he might be saying that this is out of bounds and they're busy. So maybe we should come back another time.
And there's a
When they're
slow
more
nod.
able to accommodate us and our visit to the town. And I will. attempt to turn my. How dark is it? What time is it?
It's about 20 past 9 at this point, so it's quite dark. It's not we're not in like pitch black,
Fine.
but yeah, it's
Okay,
darkness.
Okay, fine. All right.
Looking at the other two,
Hmm.
knowing that they're hidden, do they seem? If I look back, can I easily spot them? Do they seem relatively well hidden?
Phelan and Darius.
Yeah.
You sort of look in the sort of directions, knowing where they are. Darius, you see immediately, is knelt down. Is knelt down in the sort of grass of the meadow, but doesn't look particularly comfortable. Knelt down in this sort of slightly sort of almost holding their body weight up on just their ankles. Doesn't look entirely comfortable like it. Is straining a little bit. Not audible just yet, but probably is not currently as stealthy as Darius may think they are. Phelan, on the other hand, as you look back, if it wasn't for the fact that you were alongside Phelan as they dropped down Adsalor, you don't know if you would have spotted Phelan at all. Phelan has sort of dropped down into sort of some of the growth, and you can, as you sort of look, you can even actually spot Phelan's actually sort of edged themselves very slightly into like a sort of slightly deeper part of where some of the growth gets a little thicker and a little heavier. And for a moment, you'd almost lost where they were.
Okay. So I guess we're turning to walk away, right? Is that the plan, Mr. Little Armor Man?
That's what I was suggesting. Yes.
Yeah. So knowing that Darius is absolutely not doing a good job at hiding, and that Phelan therefore Phelan seems to be, I'm gonna suggest, with as much of a look of the eyes as I can, that we should bring Darius with us.
Yeah.
Leave Phelan there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will gesture to like Darius as well to come, and I guess similarly I pick up the fact that I can't see Phelan.
Yeah. Darius, come on, friend. Have you found that? Have you found that silver that you dropped? Come on.
Get up! I'm stuck.
No, let me give you a hand, and I reach over and help him up.
If we're able to get out of earshot from the drow, I'm going to say to the other two that I think our cover is somewhat blown if we are too forceful with trying to get into places. It didn't seem the right time.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm thinking, at the moment we've still got a little bit of plausible deniability that we're just here. I don't even remember why we're here, but we're here for different reasons, and we're just chilling out, and we think everything's okay, and we're still kind of like bought into what's going on. It's all fine. And if we start being like really forceful and stomping into places, we're going to start pissing off the whole village.
Seems reasonable.
As the three of you sort of retreat a little bit back up the path towards the town, Phelan, what do you want to do currently? You are still sort of hidden in the growth here, as the other three members of your party sort of begin walking away. Adslaw kind of having made quite a clear sort of call for Darius to have gone with them and not mentioning your name.
Can I nudge? I keep forgetting Charlie's character's name.
Hello.
And can I just nudge him and go, green means go, right? You got a magic stone, just in case the message is there?
It's gonna brighten up, so we should probably do it. what does the drow do as we start walking away, or it's like sort of moving
So as-
away, chatting?
And when you initially begin sort of walking away, he stays there and sort of carries on pointing. Then as you sort of pick up a bit of distance, as soon as it becomes clear you're actually walking away, you sort of get sort of 10, 15, 20 feet. He starts backing up slowly, sort of begins initially just sort of backs towards the grain store, still sort of looking in your direction. Then as it sort of becomes clear you are sort of retreating yourselves, turns and walks back towards the grain store. You see he stops just a couple of times every few steps and looks back in your direction, then heads back to the grain store and just stands in front of what looks to be the sort of main sort of wooden double doors at the front of the building.
Okay, I'm going to then add to Laura's suggestion. Once he sort of starts walking back, mostly when he's walking back, and if he's sort of doing the whole like turn back, I'll wait for him to turn back around again and keep walking again. Put it out, try and hide it like close to my body, facing away from him, so that there's not too much shining light. Although I am wearing shining armor, maybe in my cloak or something, and I'm going to try to activate it on green on the lowest pulse.
Nice.
And we'll see what happens on the other side of that.
Phelan, yeah, as you are still you're sort of ducked down in the undergrowth of the meadow. You see the rest of your party have sort of moved away and started heading back to town. You see, like I say, this drow sort of walks back to the grain store and stops. It's just now just sort of stood in front of the door, essentially looking like some kind of guard. And then you notice there is a slight glow in the sort of the pouches on your belt, and you can see the Farlight stone which you took less than an hour ago has a slow pulsing green glow.
I guess I'll leave it glowing for 30 seconds to a minute before I turn it off as we slowly sort of meander back, and then what do we do?
What do you want to do, Phelan?
I'll stay. Right. Do people want me to stay here?
You have nothing to go off other than a slowly pulsing green rock.
I think you are alone to decide for yourself, Phelan. So,
Yeah.
Adsalor specifically called out to Darius and Halloran and Kasha, presumably, to head back to town. Didn't call you by name. You've seen them retreat, and then you've seen that glowing from the Farlight stone.
Then I'll stay here. I think.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, the others retreat, and they sort of you can see the drow stood outside the building, and you can see the rest of the party sort of heading further back up the path, and you see they essentially get to the point where you can't really see them anymore. They've gone far enough away in distance and in the darkness that you don't really have a clear look at the party anymore. You sort of stay looking back, and as they've sort of retreated out of sight, the Farlight stone stops the pulsing in your pouch after around 30 seconds or so. And you sort of take in the scene a little bit now. Can you make a secret perception check for me?
Yes. Did that work?
Yes. Nice, yeah. So you sort of take in the scene a little bit more. You watch the drow sort of stands in front of the sort of double door entrance at the front of the grain store. Stands there, and you see he's quite clearly sort of watching the party as they retreat and disappear. And then once they're gone after a minute or two, he sort of begins to look side to side a little and sort of looks around for a little bit. And then he turns to the wooden double doors and he pushes against them hard, and you see them sort of give a little, but they don't sort of open up. They're clearly sort of they are closed, locked, barricaded, whatever. But he sort of pushes against them, is testing them, does it once, stops, and then pushes again, sort of twice against them, sort of just testing up against them, and then he stops, just immediately turns, walks around towards the back of the building and disappears behind it. What do you want to do?
I don't really know how I can make the light flash to say that a guy tried to open a door.
What do you mean you don't?
You didn't plan that particular message.
I think that's aquamarine, isn't it? Or was it fuchsia? I forget. We need to write down a list of all the colours we could think of and all the messages they could mean.
Wait, I can't think. What could I do?
It's up to you. I mean, I guess your immediate the obvious, unless obviously you can do whatever you want to do, but the three immediate choices, I guess, would be you could stay where you are and observe for a while. You could approach the grain store, or you could take the opportunity with them having gone behind the building to retreat back to the party.
Keep watch.
You want to stay here and keep watch for a bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you stay initially. You sort of keep in this spot for best part of 10 minutes or so. And you see maybe in that 10-minute period, twice, maybe 3 times, that drow again sort of steps out from behind the building and sort of looks around a little bit around the meadow. And then each time just sort of walks back around to the back again. You don't see any other movement or any other sort of creatures, people, anything like that. That sort of covers, but like I said, it covers about a sort of 10-15 minute period. What would you like to do from there?
Oh God. Would it be safe to try get back to people?
That is for you to decide.
I'll try sneak back to the group if that's possible.
Sneak back to the group, cool. Okay, yeah. If you can make another secret stealth check for me, quick.
I'm amazing at them, I think.
Nice. Yeah, you having sort of stayed here for about 15 minutes or so on your own, sort of keeping a watch and sort of seeing that this same drow seems to sort of come out every now and again, sort of be looking around, sort of scouting the area. You turn and start sort of making your way away from the grain store back sort of towards the path and to where the party sort of headed up in that direction. Doing so sort of very conscious of your surroundings, so you make an effort to stay in. The darkness certainly helps, especially with your sort of dark clothing and armor. Sort of staying quite low, staying away from the path itself, and also being quite wary of your surroundings, looking out for any kind of movement, which is fortunate. So as you do begin sort of making your way back, you can see movement on the path coming from the town towards the grain store, and you stop and sort of lower yourself back down just to make sure you're as hidden as you could possibly be. And as you sort of lower yourself down, you notice there are 2 more of these drow walking down the path. They are entirely silent. They don't communicate with one another at all as they make their way down the path. You particularly lower yourself, especially as they sort of pass by where you are, wanting to ensure you're not seen, and you sort of hold your breath for a moment, trying to make sure there's no movement, no sound, and they just silently walk past you. And you sort of hold your position, watch as they walk down towards the grain store, and you can see them sort of get down to the grain store, and immediately as they sort of near it, they don't go to the door or anything. They immediately just veer off to the left hand side, walk around to the side of the grain store, and disappear. Not physically disappear, but just go out of sight. I should probably
That's
work
impressive.
that better. Yeah. What do you want to do, Phelan?
So am I with the group now or not?
You are on your own still currently.
Okay.
So you were heading back, but then you've seen these other two drow come past and head towards the grain store.
Can I? No, I don't know if that makes sense. I was going to say, can I flash the thingy 3 times?
Yeah. What
But
colour?
I don't know if that really makes sense. I don't know. Drow's purple. I don't know. I won't flash it then.
No, that's cool. I'll say the one thing to bear in mind. So with the way the Firelight Stone works, what you can choose is a colour and a speed that it pulses. So it's either slow, medium, or fast.
Right. Okay.
Those are your choices in terms of how it works. But yeah,
I guess I'll flash it then. Yeah,
cool.
and I'll just carry on getting back to people.
Okay. Yeah. So you stop. You see them go back, and you decide to sort of go back to the party. And you do, and you stop one more time, and you look back. And as you look back, there are now two humanoid figures, what you assume to be drow, and they are stood in front of the sort of double doors on the front of the grain store that you can see from the path. And you see they just stand there silently and motionlessly, just standing in front of the doors. And you take the chance, and you make your way, carry on back up, and as you sort of you get far enough away that you're sort of out of sight of the grain store itself. At which point you sort of go back onto the path, and you as you sort of near the town, right on the edge of town where it sort of splits off into the path, just off to the side, you find the rest of the party.
That's good then. I'll tell them. Could I tell them? Wait, hold on. Yeah, I'll tell them that I saw 3 drow going to the. What's it called again?
Grain
I'm
store.
bad with names.
Sorry.
That one. I saw 3 drow going there, and then they just one of them disappeared into the back.
Okay. So we know there's multiple of them in there.
I would assume so, but they can't. One of them tried to open the door, but they couldn't get in.
Are you
So I
sure
don't
they
know.
were trying to open it, or were they maybe checking it was still locked?
It could be that as well.
Okay.
That's yeah. That's all I can remember.
What would you as a party like to do?
But
It's probably
would it-
time we go on.
Well, the grain store and the town hall were two of the three buildings on that map that was circled. Like, what was the third one?
The third one was the old temple, the sort of what was previously the Temple to Shanti, which has now sort of been abandoned, where you
Right, we've already been
previously
there,
gone
haven't
and
we?
found some of. Yeah, you'd been into like Matthias's sort of abandoned sort of dwellings or lodgings there.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't that labelled as supplies as well.
It was. Yeah, on Thomas's map, it had the word supplies labelled under it.
Okay. Worth checking out now, or do we go to bed and try again in the morning?
I was thinking maybe it's time to go to bed because it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock now, and nearly 10 o'clock, and maybe also just to check in and be a presence in the village so that we don't seem like we're too sneaky abouty.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. What? Go to the tavern, get
Yeah.
a pint,
Yeah,
wait for the blow
wait
over.
for it all to blow over. Yes.
You'd like to head back to the Stag and Dove, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okey-dokey.
Unless you disagree, Phelan or Darius.
Darius is ready for a nice glass of wine.
He's ready for bed, I'm assuming. It's 10 o'clock. It's well past his bedtime.
You're not going to ask Kasha. Cool. So yeah, you sort of head back to the Stag and Dove, and by the time you get there, it's about 10 past 10, so it is late. But there are still a few people sort of in the tavern itself drinking, and as you enter, Marta Sweetwater, the proprietor, she is you can see she's sort of cleaning some of the tables inside of the. Wow, she's way too tall, but that's fine. She's cleaning some of the tables as it's got a bit quieter. And as soon as you come back in, she looks up quite quickly and she calls over and she says, welcome back. You've had quite the long day. Sister Meredith returned hours ago and she seemed rather shaken. Didn't really want to talk to anybody. I do hope everything's okay.
You know me, it's not a good day until I've got my my boots dirty.
Well, it's. She says to you that there's not really a lot of food left. I'm afraid it's a little bit late, but if you're needing rooms for the night, we have got some available. I hate to sound too mercenary. Obviously, I know Eddie said that he'd put everyone from the train up for their first night in town, but we do have to cover our costs.
Seems
How much is the
reasonable.
room?
She tells you there's well, if you're happy sharing in one of our shared public rooms, I can do you a bed for 1 silver per night, or if you're a bit more private, 8 silver will do a room for 2.
What did we do last time?
So the first night you arrived in town, after the hassle on the train, the town had actually put all the passengers on the train up for free for the first night. So you had all had your own private rooms each.
How much is a private room?
8 silver. There are 2 individual beds in a private room. So in theory, you could split that between 2 or more, but it might get a bit cozy.
Okay. 8 silver. Oh, I apparently only have 1 gold and 1 silver.
That's fine.
So I was about to say, well, how much is a? Yeah, I was about to say I'd take a room for a week, but maybe I won't.
How much for a room, a nice bottle of wine, and a selection of cheese?
Ooh. I suppose I could rustle something up. Well, for the room, a bottle and some cheese. Well, it would normally be 8 silver for the room, but I guess I'd have to. The cheese would have to be what I can pull together. There's not a lot left from the day. I suppose I could do something for 14 silver.
Yes, I could do that. How much
More than
silver
my
per
world.
gold?
10 silver to a gold.
Literally more than my worldly money.
Yeah, I'll pay for that.
Lifestyles.
Do you want to take it? Oh, I haven't got his change, so
Oh, you can do that.
yeah.
Darius, friend.
I have my room for myself.
I'm not a rich man. I devote my time to Shanti and not to more financially productive pursuits. Would you mind if I was to take you out of the bed?
I thought you were going to be sharing with the other priesty guy.
Who?
Awkward.
Who do you mean by the other priesty guy?
Oh, Kasha.
Asher.
Oh. Well, she's a woman, and I don't know if she is comfortable sleeping in a room with a man.
It's very hard to say how she feels about her lodging plans for the night, actually, in general. She seems quite unsure.
Maybe she's
Yeah.
probably get sleep under a tree. She likes trees.
I
Yeah.
could imagine that as well.
If not, it's no bother. I'll bunk down in the big room. Just if we had somewhere private to discuss matters, it might be useful.
Do I sense some reluctance from Darius to share a room?
Yeah.
That's fine. In which case, I will take 1 silver for a room in the big room.
Yeah, there are some sort of almost sort of hostel style rooms that are made up of sort of multiple sort of bunk beds, and there's sort of sleep like 8 to a room. But yeah, for 1 silver you can have a bed in one of those rooms for the night. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have that.
Anybody else for the evening? They want to take up lodgings here, or
Yes, please.
what would you like,
I
Mr.
would like-
Phelan?
I should just.
So it's 1 silver for a bed, or 8 silver is a private room for 2. Which sounds far more romantic than I intended to when I say it like that. But yes, a room that will sleep 2 people in separate beds.
Can I just
I'll
have a
get a
bed?
room.
What was that? Sorry,
Oh,
Conrad.
you go ahead.
Could I just have a bed?
You just want one of the beds as well. Yeah, that would cost you 1 silver.
Alrighty. How do I take away silver?
In the inventory of your count sheet, there's like some plus and minus buttons at the top. You can just click on the minus, and it'll ask what you want to
There you
remove.
go.
Oh, I
Okay.
see that now.
I've done yours already, by the way, Darius, so don't do it twice. You're fine.
Yeah.
And Adsalor, what's your plans?
Yeah,
for-
I will get a private room for myself.
Well, okay, so we've got the haves and have-nots in this party, apparently.
8 silver, yeah.
8 silver for a private room, yeah. I will, just as a note to myself, I've taken a note to ensure that, just in the interest of fairness, when Phil returns to us, he'll have to decide what he wants to do or if he wants to spend something out. But yeah, I'll make sure, in fairness, they also pay their way. Yeah,
Is there a
Marta.
locker in?
So go on.
Do we have lockers in the shared room?
Yeah, so there's like some trunks at the end of each of the beds. They don't seem to have any kind of locks or anything to sort of keep your belongings particularly safe. Marta does tell you that she keeps meaning to get some. Obviously, with all the visitors coming through town now, it makes sense to just keep things a bit more secure. But I guess for now, we've always got by on just trusting one another.
Is she a fan of the Best Harvest? Remind me, or is she not
Is she what? Sorry.
a fan of the Blessed Harvest?
Yes, she is, and you
Of course
did.
she is.
In amongst the belongings at Thomas's notes and stuff, one of the purple stained tokens did have Marta's name on it. She sort of she tells you obviously where the shared rooms are, and tells you for the other two where they can find their own rooms. And she as she says, let me prepare that bottle and the cheese for you as well, sir, of course. And she goes behind the bar and she begins she grabs like a sort of plate and starts getting some sort of cheeses bits. She says, I think I could even include some bread, actually. I've probably got a few bits I can put together here. She sort of begins to put it together, and she sort of speaks to you, Darius, and almost you sort of get the sense she sort of talks to the group as a whole. She says, so, how did you find town today? What have you been up to?
I found these lovely little herbs here, and I was just going to pull out like some random herbs I picked up on our travels. And this is this. These are great for helping indigestions. This goes great with some cheese. This helps with sore feet on blisters. This helps with your old age.
Oh, how industrious.
This one helps keep people away, and it's a really smelly one.
Ooh,
And I pass it to her.
She has a small sort of sniff. You see, she sort of immediately sort of it's almost like she pulls away, as if her eyes are burning as she sort of smells it. She sort of pushes it back towards you, sort of pushes your hand away. But she says, that's quite enough for me." Oh, she sort of wipes away under her nose, trying to sort of get the smell away. She says, "Well, you've been most busy. I hope you've not been tiring yourselves out too much." And Sister Meredith, she left with you this morning, but she returned earlier, and she was rather shaken. Was that
I
from
passed her that herb
picking?
as well. I don't think she liked the smell of that herb either.
And
I'm quite surprised. They're very useful.
the mud on her robes, that was from herb picking.
She was helping me pick. Well, you can't pick herbs by not lying on the floor and searching for them, can you? Unless you know a secret way, a secret method that I am unaware of.
No, I don't want to. I would just want to make sure everyone's enjoying their stay and everyone's as happy as can be. She looked rather shaken, rather upset. I wanted to make sure the poor thing was okay. No big problem. Sometimes outsiders like to stir up some unnecessary concerns, especially as the town is becoming more popular of late. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing to be concerned about.
Is there something we should be worried about?
No, of course not. It's just
Everything's going fine, and you've made me think differently now.
with so many people visiting the town and making their way into the grove and enjoying the blessed harvest. There's sometimes rotten eggs mixed in. Some people are here looking to maybe further their own goals or to stir up trouble, and I just wanted to make sure that she hadn't encountered anything that had upset her in any way. But if you believe she is just tired from herb picking, then who am I to argue? I'm sure herb picking can often send a girl back to her room in tears.
It's happened many times in my youth.
She finishes and she puts the plate down onto the bar. And she says, as I said, not the best offering we will ever have, but it's a good price along with the room for you, and I've got plenty of tidying to do. I'll leave you to it, but breakfast will be ready in the morning when you make your way down, all of you. Sleep well, won't you, all of you? Is there anything anybody wants to do before you sort of make rest for the night?
Are we sat having a drink at a table? Is it relatively
Yeah,
quiet?
it's quite quiet at this point, but I mean, you can talk without being overheard. There's only a few other people in there, but Marta, you can see she's quite busy, sort of going around tidying up and cleaning up. You almost sort of get the sense she is not trying to make anybody uncomfortable, but she's clearly waiting on people to finish up.
Yeah.
It's me at
So we all
Heroes
heard
at
it,
5:05.
Yeah.
How long for my cheese?
Oh, that was on the plate that she served up for you. Sorry.
Oh. Was that it?
I did tell you the room was 8 silver, a bottle of wine, and the selection for 14 silver. It's a price that reflects the fact it's a bit thrown together.
Does she mind if we are in rations?
No, absolutely no.
Fine.
But am I right in thinking that we know that there's a token of this lady,
That was.
and that means, as far as we're aware in our head, that she's part of the taken lot? For want of better terms? Is that what was implied? Speaking to everyone now, in case anyone else can remember.
There was along with the tokens. There was a note that stated that the purple tokens represented people that had been changed.
Yeah, and hers was purple.
It was.
Yeah, and she's just said "blessed harvest" in that conversation. So, I don't think it's someone we can trust. Just to give the heads up to the rest of the gang. That is, yeah. Don't think she's necessarily. She probably won't be keen on finding out what's going on, so we should avoid mentioning too much. That you did the right thing by telling her you were picking stuff, Darius. What's the plan tomorrow?
What herb collection?
What did we say about going back to the forest?
I think we said
apologize, it's been
more stuff.
many months.
So you found a note from Matthias that said he was headed further into the forest, northwest. I think I made.
Yeah, I can't remember if we.
A field note.
Yeah, I can't remember. We agreed that we needed to go back and get some more gear before we went back in the forest. But I can't remember what gear we wanted.
Sister Meredith had told you all that she wasn't obviously she was quite scared after the fight with Ingobu. I think as a group you were sort of torn on what your plan was in regards to the forest. Yeah.
I mean, I'm quite keen to go back in the forest. My concern is we go back in the forest, spend 2 weeks in there, and then come back and find this town is completely taken over. Whereas if we do something or do a bit more digging now, we might be able to stop that happening, and then we could go into the forest.
Also, I think if we find out what happens here, we might have more inclined of what's going on in the forest. Preparation is key.
I think it might be worth going back to the old temple tomorrow morning and having a bit of a dig around the rest of the space, see if we could find these supplies that the notes talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really find supplies, did we, when we were there?
Don't think we did we?
I wouldn't say we found supplies. You found like some notes and stuff and bits and pieces, but not. Yeah, so
Yeah,
let's
but
do
they were
that.
hidden notes from Matthias, weren't they?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. When you were there previously, the all you found was Matthias's journal. Yeah.
So I think there's probably some other area of that temple we haven't looked in yet that might have some stuff worth looking into.
Okay. Anything else for everyone rests down for the night?
I think so.
Cool. Okie dokie. In which case, everybody can rest for the night and do any daily preparations they have for the following day.
How do I select new spells on here?
There are 2 stages for you to do. So on your when you're on your spell tab of your character sheet,
Yep.
if you click you click the blue purple spell preparation button.
Yep.
So in that's the list of all the spells you know. So you need to add 2 spells to this list basically, which are the 2 new spells you've learned as part of leveling up. They can be any 2 spells up until the maximum rank that you have. So for you, it would be any occult spells of rank 2 or lower. So it can be 2 cantrips, 2 first rank spells, 2 second rank spells, or a combo of any 2 of those essentially. And then so you would learn those as part of your actual overall. And then in terms of preparation, essentially you all the spells you had yesterday, you can either keep them or you can replace them with new ones that you prepare for the day. You can just then drag them from that preparation list onto your actual sheet in terms of what you've prepared for the day. Phelan, have you rested?
Is there anyone that can dispel magic before I pick them?
I know I forgot to. Sorry.
That's all right.
Give me 2 seconds. Right there.
Kasha's the only other proper caster in your party, so she told me to see if she's got dispel magic.
Yeah.
I can have a look at what spells Kasha's got. Oh, so actually, yeah, Kasha's a druid, so Kasha's slightly awkward in that she has access to 1 billion spells. Let me see if dispel magic is one of those. Is dispel magic on this long list? So yeah, Kasha does have access to dispel magic. Hers works slightly different than yours. Although you both prepare spells each day, you also have to learn spells, whereas she just knows all of the spells essentially.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pick that one.
Nice.
It was between that one I've picked and dispel magic. And I saw a really funny one. Where was it?
One more thing here. There's done. Enslow's done. Phelan's done. I'm gonna rest Kasha now, quick, but I'll let her do her prep when Phil's back. then I would also like to notes. Jeez, I'm so out of practice. There we go. If I can. There we go. Cool. So yeah, Kasha is sorted and can just prepare spells tomorrow. Everyone's done a daily prep they've got to do.
Yep.
Yep, I picked my 2 new spells, Sam.
Nice, lovely, jubbly. And then, obviously, as part of your daily prep, if you want to change any of the spells you prepped yesterday, Shane, you can as well.
I'm keeping them.
You're happy where you are. That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I am going to very quickly take a note for something that I need to do between sessions. Cool. Yes, so everyone sort of rests down for the night. Darius and Adsalor in their sort of private rooms. Halloran and Phelan, you both end up with beds in the same sort of shared, one of these sort of public shared rooms. But it's actually it's like I said, there's 8 beds or 8 bunks in the room you're in. Including yourselves, there are 6 people, so there are 4 others in there. Everyone else already seems to be sort of asleep when you get in there. It looks like they are various sort of travelling workers and have sort of clearly sort of gone to bed relatively early. Everyone gets their sleep and rests up and finds themselves fresh, healed, ready to go for a new day. In fact, actually, when I say healed, everyone's fully healed except Kasha, who's actually missing 1 hit point, but that's Kasha's problem to deal with. Yeah, as you all sort of wake up, sort of begin getting ready for the day, you sort of reconvene down in the tavern itself, and as you are sort of grabbing some breakfast, sort of making conversation amongst yourselves about your plans for the day. Sister Meredith comes downstairs and joins the party. Also, that's cool. Yeah, Sister Meredith comes down, joins the party, and she says to you all, she says, I'm sorry again about my reaction in the forest yesterday and my rush to separate when we made it back to town. I found it all rather much, if I'm honest. The forest and that creature, I'm not built for this kind of danger. I would like for Matthias to be found and to be safe and to know what's happened to him. And I will help however I can here in town. Research, talking to people, gathering information, but I can't go back into the Grove. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I'm sorry.
No need to apologise. We all walk different paths.
And you're...
Never apologise to somebody else for the path you need to walk.
She nods at you and she says thank you. Your meeting with Alara, how did it go? Did you find any of Thomas's things?
I'm going to let someone else answer that because I do a lot of talking.
That's cool. as a party, do you want to share with Alara, with Meredith, anything that you did or didn't learn?
We trust this lady a lot, right? We took her into the forest. She's okay.
In my opinion, in yours.
In the rest of the party's opinion.
Fine.
Yeah, she's trustworthy. The
Yeah.
barkeep, not very much.
That's fine. I look around to make sure that what's her face is not currently listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, well we've found a few bits of info. We've got a few buildings in town that are potentially worth checking out. They're a bit of I think hotspot for whatever is going on. Did a very brief kind of stakeout of one of them last night, but didn't really get much. So we're going to do a bit more today, I think.
Okay, well, if I can be of any help, please let me know. I'm keen to assist you, but just nothing in the forest. But anything you need, I'll be here in my room.
Actually, you might be able to help a little bit here. How well do you know the old temple that Matthias used to work at?
I've never been to Pear Trees myself. I know of the temple. I know of Father Matthias. But yes, it's not somewhere I'd visited myself previously. Is there something you need to know?
I'm just wondering if it was ever mentioned that there was space for kind of large amounts of storage, or where you might house some bits and bobs or some supplies. If there was a storeroom generally in most temples, I assume it's following standard practice. But
the temple is a modest place, a modest building. It's not meant to be flashy or to have things in storage. It's meant for convening and being close to Shanti herself. There would, as I understand it, Father Matthias lived on site and had his own sort of lodgings, but outside of that, I don't believe there was any great sort of storerooms. No.
It's registered down on this list as being a location for supplies.
Supplies.
Yeah.
Maybe something that Matthias and Thomas were sharing or saving.
I think we're going to go check it out regardless. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on where something might be saved or stashed or stored there.
I'm sorry, I don't.
That's okay. Not to worry.
Cool. She kind of she has a little bit to breakfast, and then she says to you, I really don't feel my best after everything in the forest, Esther. I'm going to return to my room to rest. Again, if you need me, I'll be here. And she sort of leaves the table, makes her way back upstairs. What do you want to do as a party? Or as individuals?
Very deep question.
What
But
are your
imminently, I
aspirations?
suggest
Fetching herbs.
I think probably going to the whatchamajigget, the temple anyway. Maybe there's something you missed there. I feel like we searched it quite well, but clearly not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Darius fell asleep in the church while you were searching. Midday nap.
Sound like Cormac. Nice. So you want to head over to the old temple?
think so, yeah.
Oh, what have I done? Why have I moved the time forward to like 5 p.m.? Cool. Okay. Yeah. So you guys sort of head out and make your way over sort of through town. You sort of make your way through the market. The market is sort of it's already sort of building up a little bit in sort of terms of people, but it's not sort of at its peak just yet. It's still sort of early morning as things are first preparing. As you make your way through the market, there is a elderly human who you met previously, old Garrett, who you had sort of met and spoken with. I think Kasha, possibly somebody at the party, at least one of you spoke to him previously. As the group passes, as you sort of walk through the market, as you pass by him, he's sort of sat on a bench. As the group pass him, he immediately, quite loudly, coughs in your direction. Sort of tries to grab some attention.
Oh, I believe it was Darius who spoke to him.
Oh,
Hello
Darius.
again, youngster.
And you see, as you sort of come over, you can see he almost looks a little bit nervous. He sort of looks around a little bit. He says, "Not here. There's too many eyes gathering already. Come and if you can meet me at the miller's shed, up just to the north, a couple of streets over. In an hour's time. We can't be seen talking for too long." And then he stands up and walks away.
Continue heading where we're going.
So we can carry on to the temple.
How far is it from to the temple?
A couple of minutes walk at most, yeah.
Yeah. So go and do that and then go there.
That's cool. Yes, you sort of walk over to the temple itself, and obviously you visited the temple before. So the temple is previously was kind of the centre of town and has basically been abandoned over the past few months. There's a small sort of garden out front, which is kind of it's not fully overgrown. It's only a few months, but it's clearly not tended and sort of looked after particularly well. And as before, you're able to sort of just walk into the temple itself, which is just left open and seems to be abandoned. What would you like to do?
Are we just going to search the whole area? Or are we going to search something in the office? Remember correctly, there was an office where we found stuff before, right?
So you had the temple itself, and then there was off to the side there was Matthias's like living quarters, lodgings, which is where you sort of searched before. When you went in there before, there was a broken window with some footprints that you had sort of gone through and sort of followed out as well, if you recall. And yeah, that was where you found Matthias's journal. You want to look around the lodgings again, was it? Or
Well, we could 2 and 2. So 2 do the lodges, 2 do inside the church. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's sensible. I think we need to properly scour the whole area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been inside the church before, right? So
Yes,
I
yeah.
guess I'll join them in the church to I might something might jog my memory.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, Halloran's gonna look around the temple and the church itself. Phelan, where do you want to look around? The lodgings or the temple?
I'll have a look at the temple.
temple as well. Adsalor?
No. You should go. You should go the other one.
Okay,
Well,
I'll go
if
to
you do
the other
you
one.
two there, and then the other two
Because-
go for the lodgings.
Yeah, but you've got Phelan. You've got the other light. So if you stick with the
Oh
other
yeah, that's a
person,
good point.
or we split into two, then if I
Yeah.
send a red flashing light, it means that like someone sketchy is coming. Be on your best behaviour.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or
And this one else wants to take the light.
no, yeah, you're correct with that one. And then you could do green if you find something.
Yep, perfect. Green is found stuff, and how
Oh wait,
mega
there.
that
Yeah.
stuff is how bright it is, and then red is there's somebody coming,
Uh,
like I don't know, the mayor or somebody.
To mix it up, the rest will go inside the church and help inside the church and search.
Cool.
So now you want some time with me.
Okie dokie. What I will do then in that case, if I can get that is the best way to do this, I think. Yeah, so if I can get a secret perception check from each of you, and then I will group you into the two groups in terms of how your roles aid or harm one another.
You say perception, yeah?
Yeah, secret perception check. Nice. Cool. So let's start with, seeing as handily they are together. Yeah, Halloran and Darius. So you start first, and you sort of begin looking around the temple itself. You sort of there's some sort of pews and seating. There's you can see what looks to be like an altar. There's lots of various sort of like little sort of nooks and sort of alcoves in the wall, all sorts of places. So you can spend quite a lot of time looking. Between the two of you, you sort of split up around the room, sort of looking around, sort of moving things around, looking underneath the pews, searching into sort of the alcoves, looking for anything that sort of stands out. Probably spend the best part of around 25 minutes or so sort of looking around, but don't really find anything anything that sticks out in particular. Meanwhile, Adsalon and Phelan, you make your way sort of through that sort of that door at the rear that went into the living quarters of Matthias, and you spend time looking around in there. And again, it looks like this. You know, there is not a lot there. You've been here previously and looked around. You initially start by looking around the same spots you did previously, see if you missed anything. Nothing particularly jumps out or anything like that initially. You spend the best part of sort of 15, 20 minutes or so looking around. Phelan, as you are sort of looking around and sort of almost sort of running out of places to really look or anything that sort of stands out in particular, you notice in sort of behind what looks to be like a small sort of dressing table, there's a few sort of like just sort of pebbles on the floor that have sort of fallen behind the dressing table or something and sort of made their way there. And you notice on these stones there is actually there was what looks to be a couple of quite simple drawings on some of these pebbles, and that each of them have what looks to be a quite rudimentary and basic drawing of a bird on.
Does that symbol, the symbol of a bird, does that mean anything if I think back to anything we've seen so far?
It does. It does indeed. Thomas and Ilara mentioned the game. Oh, sorry, Thomas and Ilara had mentioned the game that her and Thomas used to play when they hid things from one another. They used symbols of different animals to hint you in a direction when you found those drawings. at the start of the session, the goods that Thomas had hid that you found were behind a fox. So a fox was something was hidden behind. There was a rabbit for things that were buried, and there was birds for things that had been hidden above.
That makes sense. So I guess we want to look above.
Yeah, and you sort of come over and you end up, you actually stand on the dressing table itself and sort of have a look around. Can't see a lot, and as you sort of run your hand. You can't quite. There's like the wall goes up, and then there's where the roof is. There's a small sort of as the roof comes down at a sort of 45-degree angle, it moves back slightly from the wall itself, and you can sort of reach your hand up and move along this sort of very shallow sort of area, and as you do, there you can feel sort of dust on the wall up there, and then your hand touches something. You can feel metal. As you sort of pull your hand away and sort of pull this item down, there is a small bundle of metal, along with a sort of clinking sound of 2 glass vials. The items you find, I have just dropped into your party sheet. Yes, there is the metal looks to be like some rudimentary, almost like clockwork and sprung armor plating. And then there are these 2 different vials of purple liquid.
Oh.
I'll tell a lie, one is purple, one is colourless, in fact.
We'll let you off because you're colourblind.
And you.
Yeah.
If it helps, maybe I should have done this earlier. I will also. Does this work? No, it absolutely doesn't. I thought I'd post them to chat for reference, but I can't, so you'll have to just go and look at them yourselves. Yes, you've got the armor plating, which will it is a consumable single-use item, but will give somebody some additional hit points whilst it lasts. You've also got life boosting oil, which will give somebody fast healing free. Fast healing, essentially, fast healing is whenever your turn starts, you heal whatever the value is. So this is, you'll heal 3 points at the start of each round whilst it is in effect. And then there is also forgetful drops, which is a poison, which I will. Well, yeah, you can read for yourself what it does. The name probably gives you a good hint anyway. It's pretty good for making people forget things.
There's some things there if people want them. I think we've got an alchemist or a herb-ish potion-y dude, right? Darius, do you want some potions? Yeah,
I
you
think
do.
I'm actually.
Correct.
Alright.
Herbish potion.
Wouldn't the life thing be best on the person that's in the front line that gets hit all the time? I'll take the forgetful drops, but wouldn't life boosting oil be better for someone that takes damage regularly?
What does fast healing do?
Yeah, basically, so this gives you fast healing free for 4 rounds. So at the start of each round for 4 rounds, you'll heal 3 hit points.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's probably best for you. Be very best on Harlan, who always runs in front, and then even the armor as well.
So
you're the person that's going to get hit.
The oil. So this is also, the oil is consumable. Once you use it, it lasts for 8 hours, and it begins working. The first time you take damage, I believe. Yeah, it begins working the first time you take damage after activating it. But if you activate it and then don't take any damage for 8 hours, That's 12 gold's worth of oil down the drain.
Am I reading correctly? Sorry, the ability of armor plating takes 10 minutes to affix, and then only lasts 10 minutes once you've affixed it.
Yes, it is quite. It is a slightly complex and maybe rudimentary is not the right word, but it's a little bit homemade. It's this sort of. It takes a little bit of time to prepare it, to place it on your armor, and it probably only lasts so long before all the springs pop away again and it's no longer of use.
Yeah, well, I could see myself using that. I don't want to take both items because that's greedy. So if someone else wants to take the life boosting oil, who's the second most likely to be hit other than me?
It is probably
Halloran?
Asdalor, right?
Adsalor, yeah.
I'm pretty sure the other Kesha's long range druid. Phelan's also gunslinger, right? So they're also distance.
Kasha just keeps turning into animals and running away, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So you take one and Asdalor takes the other.
Yeah, I take the armor plating.
Nice. Poor Kasha. If you don't turn up to the session when the GM gives all the prizes out, you get nothing. Just hopefully Phil doesn't watch this session. You can just go, yeah, still no treasure in this campaign.
And the other one for Asdalor, I would say. Because I'm pretty sure they just run around in circles and try and get punched in the face.
Yeah, that is mostly my game plan.
Yeah, so
It's
if you
working
take
so
life
far.
boosting oil, you can not die.
Nice. Okie dokie. So yeah, you find those items up there. You sort of go you go back up, Adslor again. You sort of run your hand up there, and failing, you reach up as well, having sort of spotted it. Neither of you find anything else. There doesn't seem to be anything else left up there. No notes or anything. That little alcove at the top of the wall there appears to be entirely empty. Otherwise,
I guess that might have been it for supplies, but who knows?
I mean, it's some supplies, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's better than nothing.
it's just 34 gold's worth of prizes. Don't be complaining. What would you like to do? Oh, I'm an idiot. Sorry, there was one more item I forgot to add to your party sheet. There is also... where was it? That's it. There is a weapon rune in there as well. One of them.
Bloody hell.
That sounds perfect for Kesha.
It's definitely not for me, that's for sure. Yeah, it probably is.
Something to do with animals. There you go. You don't have to worry, Phil. Now you can give him an item.
Nah.
Nah. Just leave it here. I'll leave it in the party. I'll leave it in the party stash. If Kasha wants it next session, obviously we can just say she took it. Otherwise, you can work amongst yourselves where it goes if she feels otherwise.
30 gold split between 4.
Hey.
30 gold split between 4.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, if you want to go and sell it now before the session ends, we can also do that. I'll leave that up to you.
Quick.
Horrible people. And yes, that was the actual full list of everything. Apologies, I got too excited after 3 and forgot to give you the last thing.
Nah, I'm waiting for the 5th thing.
Sadly, you'll be waiting till the end of the session, and we've still got a good sort of 30 to 40 minutes left, so if you want to stand here waiting, you can. But I'm going to warn you now, there's nothing else here. What would you folks like to do?
Oh, go to that back alley. To this.
Old Garrett.
Oh, Garrett. The young lad.
Yeah. Are you all going to accompany Darius for this?
Yeah.
Did we get the impression that we were invited? If we did,
Yeah,
then
he,
yes.
he certainly talked to the group as a whole when he sort of tried to grab your attention. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So you sort of make your way back out of the temple with your newfound items, and sort of follow, go up a few streets out of the way and away from the market, away from the temple, and head over to the miller's shed where old Garrett asked you to wait, and you Semenyo's last game for Bournemouth, and he's just scored. I'm sorry.
That's what I just laughed at. Sorry.
It's his birthday and it's his last game, so here's Dr. Tottenham to give you a birthday present. Yes, you sort of wait around, and Garrett's not here yet, but after a few more minutes, he asked you to meet him in an hour, and after a few more minutes, you see he arrives looking around quite carefully, sort of looking around. You can see he almost looks to see as if he's looking to see that if he's been followed, or if there's any eyes watching in particular. And he sort of walks up to your group and sort of huddles underneath the sort of shadows of this shed. And he says, "You're asking some very dangerous questions around town. The same ones that Thomas and Matthias were asking. And now Matthias is gone and Thomas is in Griffin still. If you believe that." And he looks around. He looks around at the 5 of you, and he says, "I've been watching for months around town, ever since the goddess appeared and the drow showed up. People don't pay attention to old men on benches, but that makes me a good observer. Ever since they appeared, 2, maybe 3 times a week, always late at night, I see them, the drow, and they lead townspeople. They lead my neighbours, my friends, out of their homes, through the streets of the town, and out to the east to that grain shed. And every single one of them, they go willingly, they are smiling, they're calm. It's not natural, it's not right. And I followed them once, only once, mind. 2 months ago, I followed out to that grain shed, and there's a back door to the building, covered by vines, easy to miss if you didn't know it was there. The building's practically falling apart, but they took somebody. They took whoever they had through that back door, and I followed. I got up to the door itself, and all I could hear on the other side was a humming, this deep humming tone. And It went right through every bone in my body. I've seen a lot of things in my time, but I didn't have it in me to see what's on the other side of that door. And I came back to town. And I've spent the rest of my time watching, hoping that somebody with a bit more about themselves than maybe me would have it in themselves to open that door. I was kind of hoping that would be Thomas. He'd figured all this out before me even. I spoke to him, I saw him one of the nights I was watching, and he told me that him and Matthias were aware of what was going on, that Matthias had gone into the Grove and that Thomas had stayed behind to work things out. He was far braver than me. He had notes, he had maps, and that's why they took him. He knew more than me. He knew too much. I don't have it in me to deal with whatever is in that shed, but I've seen some things in my time. Again, people walk past an old man on a bench and think of nothing, but they don't understand that I was young once. I spent a lot of time in the Grove, looking around. I've seen things, I've experienced all sorts of things, but my entire time in the Grove, I never saw no drow. We're supposed to believe they just came on out when the goddess herself opened it back up. It stinks. I can't go in that shed. I can't face what is ever on the other side of that. But I can at least give you this. And he's holding as he's sort of speaking to you, and the same as when you saw him previously, he has this sort of wooden, this sort of gnarled, quite basic looking. I mean, to be honest, it looks like a natural kind of stick, just like a wooden stick, which he sort of has sat beside him on the bench when you've seen him, and sort of has sort of using it to walk when he approached you and speaks to you today. And he sort of holds it up and he says to you, I found this in the Grove years ago, before it was sealed off. It's druidic. I'm sure of it. It feels alive, and I've kept it hidden for years, never really knowing what it was or what it is. But I knew it would be of use one day, and that I definitely didn't want it to fall into hands I couldn't trust. And he pushes it towards you, passes it to you, Darius, as you're sort of closest to him as he's talking. And he pushes it towards you and he says, I'm not made for this fight, but whatever's going on, the five of you seem to be doing something. Take this, take what I've told you, and I don't want to be involved any further. And he looks around at the five of you quickly, and he says, the one other thing, that grain store, it's supposed to be storage, and they're supposed to be renovating it. But again, when I've been watching, no work has been going on, no repairs, nothing's changed on the exterior of that building at all. But I can tell you what they've been bringing out: earth and dirt. Lots of it. and he turns, he looks over his shoulder briefly, and he looks back at your party, and he says, "That's my part in this done. I don't want to be involved any further. I just want my town back." And he turns and walks away.
You worry, this old man will sort it for you.
Your best man's on it.
Yes, man.
Where?
What, did he pass me?
1 second. Why can I never? Have I just got way too many? Ah, here it is. The item he passes you is this. Why is that not dragging into the party sheet? What have I done wrong? That's better. There you go. So yeah, there's this wooden staff, wooden walking stick, wooden staff. Soon as you sort of have it, like I say, he sort of disappears and makes his way. The staff itself, it looks like it looks like not like a full, not like a tree branch, but like a natural long stick or piece of natural wood or tree. If you passed it in a forest, you wouldn't think about it twice. But the same as Garrett said to you, as you sort of hold it, Darius, and as if anyone else in the party sort of touches it, it feels alive. It's almost like the wood is slightly warm as you touch it. This is definitely magical. Definitely magical.
I don't have any way of identifying it, do I?
Anyone does. So in Pathfinder, if you know something is magical, anybody can attempt to identify magic. It's just an action you can take. It is your Arcana probably sounds right, but let me double check that because I guess I could be wrong. Identify magic. Yeah, so it is an Arcana check. There is a DC for it, obviously, and it is a secret check. So you don't know what you roll, and then you may find out things about it. If you attempt to identify the magic on something and you fail, you can't try to do so again for a day. If you succeed, you'll learn loads of stuff about it.
Theoretically, Sam,
Yes.
I'm going to do the roll, and then I'm going to hero point it where I don't know it. Because I've got a 9, so if you plus 10 on it, I'm minimum getting 19 on a hero point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll it.
Go
So
for
just
it.
do a secret roll, yeah?
Secret Arcana check.
And then secret Arcana check. And then I'm going to hero point it.
Yeah. Okay, I will hero point that for you. Nice.
Because on my knowledge, I should be getting minimum of 19 to 20 on this. On the hero point in it.
You reckon? Okie
Yeah.
dokie. Let's have a look. So that will come in at... Yeah, difficulty for that should be that. So... yeah, you spend a little bit of time sort of holding this staff, trying to get a feel for it, trying to understand it, Darius. And you are successful at doing so. You are able to identify this item. It is a staff of earth. So yes, this is a magical staff. So staffs, they have spells like imbued into them. They gain charges. So whoever has a staff, they at the start of the day it gains charges equal to the highest spell rank that person is capable of casting. So if Adsalor had it during their daily preparation, it would gain 0, I think. You have no spells, right? I think.
I believe so. I only
no.
have cantrip.
Oh, actually, yeah, you gained some druid stuff. Well, yes, okay, maybe Phelan's a better example. Somebody that had no spells, essentially, it would just end up with no charges and would be useless. But any magic user can have it as part of the daily prep. It gains charges equal to whatever their highest spell rank is. So for the 2 proper casters in your party, it would have 2 charges per day. And it basically gives them more spells outside of their own spell charges and slots. So yes, probably not overly useful to the members of the party that are not spellcasters. But for the members of the party that are spellcasters, in my opinion, a pretty cool item.
Yeah. What does Kesha use for a weapon?
She has a long spear, a sling, and a hatchet.
I use staffs.
Do you?
Yeah. And this is a staff. Would anyone be offended if I took the beautiful looking staff?
No, yeah, if you use staffs, it's perfect.
Seems entirely
Yeah.
reasonable, I think, to keep
Yeah.
it.
Nice.
Okay. And I will be equipping it as well.
Lovely, lovely.
Can I say I gave him my staff when he passed it to me? So then he's still got like a staff in his hand to help him walk in.
The one other thing to bear in mind with staffs, etc., to use it, any spells that are on it have to be in your school of magic. You only cast occult spells. This spell is arcane and primal.
Oh,
So unfortunately, you certainly could take it, but you won't be able
Can't
to cast the
use it,
spells
though.
from it. No.
alright. I will. I'll let probably Kesha get it, and even they probably won't take it because they don't use
What?
staff.
Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of spells can Kesha cast? Kesha.
She casts primal spells. She's a druid.
Yeah, but she's not here, so just sell it.
Yeah, sell it. And it's valuable.
Oh, well, you know what? That's 90 gold of stuff that Kesha could have had.
Could have
That's,
had. Could have had.
That's 22 gold each. You can get your own room.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's around
That would
10,
be
15
nice.
minutes left if you guys want to sell this. It's up to you. I'll never tell Phil.
Yeah, but
Phil won't
unfortunately,
listen
Phil's the kind of
back.
person he's gonna watch it back because he's the kind of person who would watch it back. So
What a dick.
I think I have to wait next week and obviously and see what
Nice.
Kesha wants.
Okay. Yeah, I guess what would you guys like to do? It's around sort of like 10:30 in the morning at this point.
Like, if we're checking the barn bits, there'll probably be like a night job, right? Not a day job. We might want to try and keep a low profile until later on in the day.
I wonder if that this barn is in use in the night, isn't it? They're dragging people to it at night. So if we wait until night, we're guaranteeing probably there's going to be more people there.
Yeah. Maybe less during the day and try and sneak around.
Yeah, I wonder if we're more likely to be able to sneak in during the day.
Do, do, do. Do, do, do.
So you want to head back there, did you?
Just to see what the security detail is like during the day, I think.
That can be done. Yeah, so you make your way sort of out of town over to the sort of eastern edge of the town again, and back towards that grain storage, that sort of shed warehouse. And you, as you sort of make your way through town, you pass as you sort of make to the sort of outskirts. You pass a number of sort of townspeople. You also pass some drow who are sort of nearby. Sort of, they're sort of working in some of the fields and everything. As you sort of pass them, you sort of pay close attention, trying to see if they sort of react to you, if they seem to recognise you, if you recognise them from last night or anything. But no, nothing in particular like that. Nobody seems to really pay much attention to you at all. You sort of make your way out and start heading down that path towards the grain store itself. You sort of get to about maybe the same distance you did yesterday when you were first spotted and interrupted, and slow your pace a little bit so you can sort of have a look around and work out what's going on. If I get if I can get a secret perception check for everyone again, please. Obviously, if anyone wants to follow Shane's lead, you do have hero points. So you guys stop. You sort of have a look around. You can see 25. Okie dokie. So you can see there are two drow workers. There's more of these sort of drow. They're in the field and the meadow around the grain store, but they certainly aren't as close as the three you saw last night at all. They are just sort of around the meadow. Looks like they are picking at flowers and sort of tending the ground, sort of thing in general. But you can tell they are certainly paying attention. They are keeping a distance from the grain store, but they look back to it from time to time. They do look at you and sort of look at you from a distance, but don't. Unlike the one yesterday, they don't approach you in any way. They just kind of keep their distance. But you're quite aware that they're keeping a watch on the location and on view as well. Outside of that, Adsalor, you pick up on a little bit more than some of the other members of the party. You pick up on a few things about the building itself. So you can see there are those sort of vines and growth all around the store that you've noticed previously. But you can kind of, as you sort of walk around the meadow a little bit more and get a view around the sort of various sides of the store. On the further side, like sort of the back side away from the town itself, the vines and the growth are still sort of there in the same place, but you can see it's almost like it's meant to look all natural. It's actually kind of, you can tell there's like some sort of cultivation that's gone on to sort of move some of it or have it kind of covering part of the back wall specifically. And it's, although it might to an initial observation it might look natural, you can kind of see that it's actually been sort of manipulated and sort of placed quite specifically. you also notice that although the building is relatively weathered and sort of beaten up a little bit, there are some glass windows on the second floor, and each of them look to be kind of spotlessly clean and intact, whereas the rest of the building looks a bit weathered and uncared for. There is not a single bit of dust or dirt on those windows at all. They are clean, well looked after, nothing at all. And kind of the other thing you pick up on is that there are you actually spot there are some tracks sort of in the meadow itself where you are, and you spot there's some tracks that seem to come off of the path that leads to the front of the grain store and kind of works around to the side, and then seems to head towards that rear wall, and where that sort of that wall of vines over the wall itself is. And the last thing you notice, Adsalor, as you are apparently very much more observant than anyone else in the party today.
Fucking excellent. Okay, it's not my fault.
And well, I wasn't going to say it, but as you're sort of taking all this in, as you sort of kneel down, sort of have a look at those tracks as well, you sort of put your hand down, sort of feel at the tracks, and sort of have sort of touch at them, and there is a very faint, and it's entirely possible somebody could put their hand in the same place where you are and not even pick up on it. There is a very faint rhythm, almost like a very faint beating or humming, like there is just the very slightest amount of almost movement in the dirt itself. It is right on the verge of perceptible or not. Like even if you point it out to other members of the party, they sort of hold their hand in the same place and they can't even pick up on it. But you are certain of it. It's like almost like the ground itself is breathing, humming. Yeah, just this very, very slight, almost imperceptible sort of sense of movement or energy.
That's fucked up. I don't approve of that. The ground should not be breathing. Can I, just to go back to something from a minute ago,
Yeah.
the windows,
Yes.
can I spend just a little bit of extra time just watching where they're so clean? It screams to me, I'll say this to the rest of the party as well, like it screams to me that why are they kept so clean other than to watch out of? Seems logical to me. There's no other reason to clean them, right? Either they need sunlight in there, seems unlikely. I don't think that's something that the drow are necessarily after. Or they use it to watch. So can I see anyone wandering or kind of looking out the windows or anything at all?
Yeah, you spend a few minutes as you're sort of talking with the party and everyone's sort of looking around and getting a feel for the place. You keep a closer eye on those windows, and it's without getting right up close to the building and really climbing up to that level of the windows. It's pretty hard to really see what's on the other side of the windows. But you sort of look for any kind of sign of movement, anything watching you, anything like that, anything you can see really. You don't really pick up on anything at all. You sort of carry on, you look to see anything, you look for reflections, and yeah, you get nothing.
Okay.
Until you do see something.
Oh, fucking hell, you got me.
Just as you go to turn away and give up on it, you spot the movement, and it's lucky you are as perceptive as you are today. Right on the edge of one of the windows, you spot, just as you sort of go to move away, it's almost like something moves in response, and you immediately you dart your attention back, probably a little too overtly, as you see it move in the corner of your own vision, and you see somebody darts back away from the window, wanting to not be seen by you.
Interesting. I tell everyone else this. I mean, there's clearly something significant going on in this place.
Oh, I feel like I want to cast a light bolt in there, or throw a stone at the window to see if what happens.
I think that's petty vandalism. I think you get put in jail for that.
No, but like the light, just to like put the light inside it.
Well, they've got windows. It's not like there's not light inside.
And as you share with the party that you just saw something, you discuss briefly with Darius there what to do, what your next actions are, I suppose. Your decision making gets somewhat rushed along as you suddenly notice the two drow who've been in the meadow working around. You have got their attention, and they are moving towards you swiftly at pace. And we will end the session there and pick that up next week.
I'd like to use my hero point.
Yes, go for it.
I don't know. I just want to use it. I don't want to
Yes,
waste
you've
it.
used it. Yeah, you've used it.
Excellent. I'm a hero.
It was heroic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you got the hint or not. You didn't need to use it on that perception check you just had.
No, I actually was quite tempted to use it as well, just for a laugh, and then I'm quite glad I didn't.
It's probably good you didn't. You might not have.
Yeah.
been
I like
any
to use
better.
them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess as crazy as it feels to do the re-rolls, I guess with the rule I use where to make hero rolls always at least feel like they're going to be better than whatever the initial result is, using them on a blind roll if it's near the end of a session maybe isn't always the worst. Depending, I mean, obviously it's dependent on a lot of things, but you are right that it is actually reasonable odds that you benefit from having done so. Unless you don't.
The plus 10 on any roll below 10 makes it.
Yeah, and then having a 9+ on it.
Do it, right?
Unless you
Be
roll
like a
into
19 minimum.
Obviously, if you re-roll into 1 though, that will always lower the success.
Yeah.
But yes, I think in general, it feels silly, but actually, it's probably mechanically not a terrible choice. Cool. We will pick that up next session with, I don't know, you being chased Benny Hill style around a field by some drow.
I'm just going to shoot him.
Yeah.
I think it seems just start shooting.
Or actually, I should have given you like another few minutes of gameplay and let you throw the staff and the rune at them as like prizes or like reward for not attacking you or anything.
Yeah.
And then go back to town.
Oh, that would have been a great idea. You could have just bribed them. I'm sure they're open to conversation.
Yeah, they seem the type.
Yeah.
You see all the scores today, Sam?
I've not been paying attention at all. I literally, in fact, I hadn't even been following the Spurs game until my phone lit up and I saw that they'd scored the 95th minute and that obviously we had lost because
Because the Spurs.
Man City drew 1-1 at home with Brighton.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. That is not what I had on my Super 6.
I'm actually going to have to leave the country in May, aren't I?
Because Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
Chelsea
nice because
lost
they
again as
basically
well.
been shit for 20 years and now...
I mean, they have been less successful, but I mean, arguably, arguably Tottenham have been less successful than they have, but I guess your point would be that you've won at least one piece of European silverware in the last 20 years.
Well, actually, my point would be we've won at least one piece of silverware, European silverware ever, but sure.
I don't know. It depends how you actually want to feel about that, because like to win European trophy, you have to to play in the Super Cup. You have to win a European trophy.
Yeah.
Arsenal have played in the Super Cup because we won a European trophy. They just no longer recognise it.
Yeah. Well,
Like in 10 years, they might not recognise the Europa League, which means Tottenham would have won a trophy again in Europe.
well,
In 10 years, similar.
in fairness, Tottenham won 4 European trophies, so
Yeah, it's
I've got to take the very, 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 very rare chances I get to boast about being a Tottenham fan.
Yeah.
Especially
because I'm
There's
pretty
not
sure
very many, is there?
95 Arsenal were in the Super Cup because we won the Cup Winners' Cup.
I think the most torn I've ever been as a football fan was the year that Arsenal made it to Champions League final. Because in general, if there's like a British team, I don't know why, but it's like, yeah, like you're always excited for an English team to win the Champions League. I've never been more torn in my life, but luckily that wasn't a problem because of Jens Lehmann. So
It's like you support
That's depressing.
the team, and then if your team isn't playing, you support the team that's like, or you support the south of England, and then you support England, and then you support Europe, and then
Then
when there's a
Mars,
global galactic
then
conflict, yeah, for you maybe. Oh man, that was good. Been
Yeah,
forever,
Thanks,
but
Sam.
it was, yeah.